have emails for all our customers if possible, phone numbers, mailing address if different from the property address, and there's also the seller's social security number if there's a mortgage on the property. If there's no mortgage, we don't need that. And most banks only require the last four digits of that number anyway, so just try to get the last four. Moving down the sheet.
And they can hardly hear you.
Mhm.
You're saying they can hardly hear you.
Talk louder.
Oh, that way you can see the chat.
Okay.
Perfect. And close it so you can talk louder.
Yes, thank you. And further on, moving down further, we have information about the mortgage. And this is one of the most important parts. If you can make sure you fill this out when you turn it in. Once you have a contract on the property, I do provide the uh, buyer's title company with the mortgage information so that they can get the payout and the payoff. We always want to make it as easy as possible for you to sell your property. So I do that for you. As far as the rest goes, the listing information, and again, these dates are important that you have on here, the listing date and the expiration date, whether or not there's a sign allowed, and it's an old form. Do you want to sort of this? The answer is either yes or no. If there's no sign, we will order all signs. Agents no longer order their own signs. And then the contact information and showing instructions. You're going to fill this out. Alexis will give you a call, or Maury will give you a call after I've entered the listing into the system to go over all the showing instructions. And that's that form. Then we have the form for questions. This is a great form to use for going through the property and getting, handling anything that might be a problem with the showing. Then we have the mortgage information request. Again, if you make sure you fill this out so that we can provide this to the title company so they can get the mortgage information. Then more about preparing your home, and then the city self-service pledge, and then the activity list. Again, these are all documents that you're going to give to the seller. The listing contract itself, we have put in big black arrows on here to show you things that are required by law. So do make sure that you fill all these out. You have the address, the date, the price, the expiration date of the listing, and then down at the bottom we have two signatures for owners, and the broker has already given the his signature on the form. And then you put your name at the bottom. There's no need for you to sign your name at the bottom. So we can go to next documents. One second.
On my way.
How do I get to the RE1?
Oh, come on.
Okay. I have made a list of some of the new things that are on the RE1 form. You're looking at the old RE1 form. If you ever look at the bottom of this form, you'll see that it was last updated in this one was 2009, so it's 11-year-old form. The system has made a lot of changes in the last 11 years since this was updated, but this is your basic RE1 form still. And what you always have to remember, and I've always told agents that we communicate to each other through forms, and this is the main form for you to communicate to me what exists on the listing. And what you're really doing is creating an ad and telling a story about the listing. So you always have to keep that in mind to create the best possible story that you can tell for your client's sale, and getting it the information correct so that they can get a sale at in in the shortest possible time is the most important thing. Starting right off at the top is the area number on the right hand side. This one happens to be 3624. Making sure that the property's in the correct area is very important because agents do uh, search by areas. And then moving on down, we have the address, the folio number, the style code on the right that's highlighted. This one's an R33, which is a pool home on the water. So it's got both features. It's got a pool and it's on water. If you look in the top left-hand corner, you'll see where those codes are, so that help you define them. And that's something that you get to know over time anyway. Moving down, we have Coventry Estates. Uh, Livingston North is the subdivision name, the square footage, year built, um, whether a property is new or resale. And remember, what new means is that nobody's ever lived in the property. So um, most of the properties you're going to list are going to be resales. Bedroom, bathroom count, and again, these all this information is so important that you make sure you have filled it in correctly. On the bedrooms and the bathrooms, quite often the tax rolls are incorrect, and this is something that's going to be auto-populated in the listing from the tax roll. So if it's wrong on the tax rolls, please highlight it on here and make a note on here that says the information in the tax rolls is wrong so that I can watch for it and correct it. Number of garage spaces, carport, which direction the front of the door faces. So when you walk out of your house, what direction are you facing? This would be northwest. Whether the property is furnished or partially furnished, um, parking description, parking restrictions. And again, these are really important features for a lot of buyers with trucks and boats and motorcycles and those things. So this is one of the most neglected portions of the form that people don't fill out properly. So you want to make sure that you get that information in there. Lot size, um, square footage lot. Remember, quarter acre is about 10,500 and something. So if it's less than 10,500, it's less than a quarter acre. If it's more than that, if it's 11,000, you can call it a quarter acre to a half acre. If it's on the water, yes or no. And again, there's a spot on here where it says waterfront footage right here, where somebody's put a Y there. That's not really what's supposed to go there. Where it says waterfront footage, that's supposed to be how many feet are on the water. This is only going to matter in an area where boating is really popular, um, where the owner can have a boat in their backyard. On a canal lot on the east side by the intercoastal, that's extremely important. So you want to make sure you get that number. Over here where it says canal width 1 through 80 feet, or canal width 81 through 120. Again, important things if you can remember to put them in. The view, water access. Generally speaking, if you live on one of those little ponds behind the home, there's no water access. A home owners association really does not want you doing anything in the water. Whether or not it's attached or detached is actually no longer even design two, half duplex, 1 story, 2 story, and so forth. Construction, CB block is is most homes in South Florida, but you also want to make sure that if it's framed, that you check frame. Where it says concrete, that means poured concrete. Some homes are poured concrete, but that's used mainly in commercial properties like rental buildings and such. Type of roof. Um, Most roofs in Coral Springs are S tile or barrel. Shingle roofs in North Lauderdale, Margate, and other areas. Flooring type, dining is important. Rooms, um, pool, yes or no. Pool size, most people forget to put the pool size. Remember, if you've checked pool yes, pool size is a required field. So I have to put something there, so it's going to be just a zero if you have in. We would like you to get put in your forms if at all possible. That information is available on the tax rolls, so there's no reason why you can't get it. The remarks, it says 510 characters, and it's actually 810 characters. The directions is about the same size as that now, 255, and the broker remarks is actually closer to 250 uh, characters. And remember too, these three fields, the remarks, directions, and broker remarks, should be emailed to me in either just an email or a Word document so that I can cut and paste. And again, the idea for you to do that is so that you can see how the remarks are going to look on the computer screen so that you can see handwritten remarks are generally a lot shorter than you think they are when they're typed out. Then we get down. Remember, broker remarks is for something that you want the other agents to know, but not the buyers. So like it says here, $500 bonus to a selling agent. Moving down, then we um, room sizes. And if possible, there's only a couple agents who are doing room sizes, but I do recommend that you put in the room sizes, measure the rooms, and it only takes the feet, not inches. So if it's remember, if it's 7 feet 7 inches, it's only 7 feet. So you have to put in the lower number. You can't round up. You have to round down. Bedrooms. This is one of the first places where we find the pets is a lot different now than it used to be. Pets, if you say yes, these are not the choices anymore. You have to say, uh, you have to check off either no restrictions or aggressive breeds is one choice. No cats, no dogs, horses allowed. You can go on the MLS and look at the choices to see what you can put in this area. Then you have bedroom, master bath, interior, and again, these are where you look at these features here on interior. It's 7. Please make sure you're counting how many you're checking off and that you are only checking off 7. Don't check off 8, 9, or 10. It's kind of sad in one of these sections down here where it says subdivision, they have like 40 choices, but you can only check 3. That's on the RE2 form, it's a lot different, but on the RE1 form, you can only check 3 on subdivision. On equipment, where it says freezer, that means there's a separate freezer installed, not the freezer that's built into the refrigerator. So only check that off if there is a separate freezer installed. On windows, pet restrictions, and so forth. HOPA, whether it's housing for older persons, so forth. Exterior features, guest features, subdivision. Again, like I said, there's only three. Maintenance included. Again, only three choices here, so make sure you only pick three. Heating, cooling, whether or not cable is available, water and sewer, and then we come down to the financial information. Terms consider, you should always check off conventional. If it's a single family home or you know the association does accept FHA, check that. If there's any owner financing, do make sure you check that. Membership required, yes or no, and if so, what's the fee? Homeowners Association, the fee monthly, so forth. On special, advertise okay is no longer there. It hasn't been there for a long time. Um, let's see, owner agent, make sure you check that off if it's your own property. Under funding, that's what means that the buyer will get the property when the seller gets their money at the closing. Then your license number, your name. You don't have to worry about putting in the phone numbers, all that information. Your phone numbers, your email address, all that will be auto populated from your record. And again, if you have a problem with some of the information that's on your record, I can't change it for you. Only the board can change. So if your phone number turns up wrong, it happens occasionally when they have an update or something. It gets an old phone number. You have to actually call the board to get that taken care of. Then we have the commission, which we're paying out 3%. This is what we're paying out to the other agents. Variable, if promise the seller that you will sell it, if you sell it yourself, that's a variable commission. So this should be a yes here. If there's a joint agency, if you're working with another broker from another area, that would be a yes. And again, okay to advertise is not on the form anymore. Occupied by, usually it's the owner. Showing instructions are going to be show assist on almost all of our listings, listing date and expiration date, and so forth. This part down here where it says internet remarks doesn't exist anymore. The internet just takes the regular remarks. So that's the RE1 form. We need to go to the RE2 form. My assistant is coming.
There you go.
There we go. The one of the things about the RE2 form that's now is on all forms actually there's a new field that has to be answered whether or not the community is gated. Say so somewhere at the top of your form, if you would just write yes gated or no gated, so that I know. Most of the communities I do know are if they're gated or not, but some of them add gates here and there. We also have a new field for both RE1 and RE2 is what how old is the roof? So it's you can write at the top of the form somewhere just when the roof installed. On the back of the RE2, we'll get to some new forms that we can talk about when we get there. But basically, the RE2 form is all the same information as the RE1 form. There's a few different style codes that are here. And again, the square footage, most of these square footages are taken from the tax records. The year built is taken from the tax records, bedroom, bathrooms. And again, some of this information can be wrong on the tax records. So if you know for sure that it's wrong, please let me know. On the next section where it says unit, a lot of people check off patio thinking it's a condo and it has a patio. What this means here is that it's a patio home, which means it's usually 3 or 4 houses surrounding a patio, and they share that common patio. A twin home is 2 houses generally that are connected, that are 2 stories. So what you want to check is something other than those two. If it's a townhouse, um, or a condo, and we have the type of government garages. Please do make sure you let me know that the garage is 0 and the carport is 0. I know a lot of you leave this blank with condos, but many condos in our area do have garages or carports, so let me know. On waterfront, yes or no. On this particular form, you don't have to let the uh, system know how many feet are on the water. But water access is more important on condos because generally a lot of them do have ocean access. The unit view, security. A lot of these on security, um, where it says elevator, that means you have to have a key or a card to operate the elevator. Same thing with the stairway. A lot of times on a lot of condos, the stairways or the main entrance to the building are locked and you have to have a key to get in. So that's what that means on security. And again, on construction, the same. Dining is pretty much the same. Parking is, again, how many spaces. And here you have freestanding garage if you have one. And parking restrictions, again, this is important for a lot of condos. So if you can get that information, type of flooring. One of the things that's added to flooring now is laminate. So you have parquet here, but you've also got laminate. So you can write that in and I'll put it in. Minimum lease days and minimum lease per year. This is our required fields. And almost everybody leaves these blank. So again, this is important information to a potential investor, how many days they can lease property. There's some buildings like Sea Haven over, you can list it for 90 days. Um, and they do allow seasonal rentals. So on the beach area, seasonal rentals is a lot more important than other areas. Again, then we have the room sizes, and we have bedroom, master bath, and again, pets. The pets information, as I said before, has changed, so you have to make sure you pick that. Interior, you have up to 7 on this one. Equipment, again, up to 14. Um, and you have windows, exterior features, maintenance included. You have up to 14 choices. And again, amenities, you have up to 14 choices. And there it says kitchen facility. That means that the owners of the buildings can actually get food prepared for them at a kitchen on site. Like Moore has a little restaurant. A lot of places have little restaurants inside now. So that's what that means. Under restrictions, HOPA again, approval, heating, and so forth, cooling. And that's pretty much it. Most of this is all, again, the same as we go down. So that's that. Okay. Can you do a rental?
Okay. Um,
Okay. For rental listings, we've made it easy for you. We only have one form that you fill out when you list the property, and you use the same form when you turn in a contract to lease. So this form, when you get it, when you have a listing, you're going to fill out the top where it says address of the property. Then you're going to fill out the left side where it says owner's information and listing broker information. If you just make sure you get your name, I don't need the rest of this information except for your name and maybe your license number. On this side, you're going to fill this out when you have a tenant, not before, but you're going to fill it out when you have a tenant. And I do strongly recommend that you only fill out the rental disbursement section when you have an offer accepted by the seller. If it starts at $1,500, but the seller ends up accepting, say, $1,495, you're going to have to change this. So only fill this in once you have a tenant. This is the actual listing contract and who's responsible for what. Most of this is pretty simple stuff. And we have the rental follow-up for rental showing form, so that the Alexis or Maury will give you a call. The RNT form is a lot simpler, or more simple than the RE1, RE2 forms. The RNT form has a lot less required fields, but the fields that are on here that are required are important. Do make sure that you fill out, again, as much information as you can. The more information that you can give to the other agents when they're showing the property, the better. On the back, we have the interior information, security, what equipment is included with the rental. And do make sure you fill this out, because, you know, I need to know if all the appliances are included. Exterior amenities that the tenant will have access to, and miscellaneous forms. How many, what's again the minimum lease days, how many leases per year, the application fee, any additional fees, approval how long approval takes, and so forth. Move-in information. This is one of the most often left out fields also. So please make sure you fill this out. And again, when you send me a price change, if it was $1,000 a month and the move-in was $3,000 and they drop it to $950, I need to know if you want me to change the move-in amount as well. Then the lease terms, rental deposit includes, so forth. Rental payment includes heating, central, electric, and so forth. And then the bottom is, again, pretty much the same. For where it says commission, we usually pay out a half a month. So we just write in 1/2 month. Some agents, and you'll see that they have calculated it out, that a half month is 4.16% commission. So if you ever see that on a rental listing, that's what that means, is you're getting 4.16%. And I believe that's it. Need my assist. Anybody have any questions for us?
Good job.
No questions. Wow, you're up.
Hi. Yeah, you said the two connected homes, which you call twin homes. Are they duplex or they're just twin homes? Is it the same like duplex or not?
Paul,
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Lane. I'll answer your question. A conjoined property would be a duplex, yes.
Yeah, okay,
We
thank
also
you.
have the clause.
So you can call them twin properties or twin houses or duplex, either one.
No, it wouldn't be a twin house. That doesn't, I've never heard anyone refer to that in the South real estate market, but the appropriate name would be a duplex or a multifamily property.
Thank you. Okay, thank you.
No other questions, guys? We have a few more minutes.
I think
Thank you all for joining. I really appreciate you all joining in with us. We'll go ahead and end the class then. I hope you all are well.
Thank you.
Take care. Thanks.
Bye-bye.